Hi everyone, this is Big Benedict. We're on Chapter 3 of our Bayonetta guide, and this is called The Burning Ground. We're on hard difficulty mode, and this battle here is just going to be some aerial enemies. What you need to do is just jump in and do your strikes with the katana or your punches, with whatever you've got. I'm sorry, I had to catch my breath. I was doing some jogging, burn some calories. But I wanted to first say, my thank you to everybody who comments, because I like people commenting, and I always do my best to respond in kind. And this is not to anybody that I really know, but to some people lately that have been commenting on this guide. It's fine if you're going to suggest that I play something, but don't insult my way of thinking. And you say, oh, you like this game, so you must like this other game. Namely, you like Bayonetta, so you like Ninja Gaiden, how could you possibly like this game? Or why do you like this game and you don't like Devil May Cry? You know what? I just play games, okay? I really haven't touched the Devil May Cry series. I played number 4 a little bit, and I just didn't like it very much. And maybe I will someday play the other games, but I'm not going to just play a game because somebody says I should like it. Or, if they insult my way of thinking, it's on you, because I don't go around on channels and say, oh, why are you playing this game? You should play this game because you've played this other game. And, people arguing about me not liking Suda51 games. Just, guess what? I don't like that developer. I think his games are really dull and boring. So, that's the final stand on where I come with that. So, if you can't handle that, then just don't watch my content. Otherwise, if you're going to be having arguments, then you're going to be blocked. Or, I don't like to block people because the funny comments that I see, I don't like to block people because then that makes the comment disappear. Then I can't later on, you can't reference it later on when I'm trying to say something funny in return or mock the individual. So I try not to block people, and that's kind of childish anyway, to block, just to be block happy. And that's not really what this channel is about, blocking people. If you're a nuisance, I just won't even talk to you. But, disrespect the channel, because I'm not a pro at this game, and I'm not saying that I'm a pro at anything. I even admitted I'm not the best at this game. I'm trying to improve as a player. I'm just sampling this game that I came across last week, and which really impressed me. And that is coming a long way because I first dismissed this game. But anyway, that trial of the Anaheim, I was going to do it, and I looked at some videos about how to do that particular one where you stay in the air for 30 seconds, and it was interesting, but I don't think I have an attack that I can use that would really help me do that. But I'm sure a pro could do it with what I have, but I'm not a pro. The only game that I might say I'm a pro at is Ninja Gaiden, but still, there are people that could school me on that game every day of the week. Like the Rhymes of the world, or one guy just addressed me out of the blue the other day. He's pretty popular, although his channel isn't that huge, but I really respect him. His name's the Big Alski. I also wanted to thank every other person who's been responding. Sarah from 17 really helped me. Just knowing that I could press right trigger and select to auto skip those cutscenes really saved me a lot of time. Thank you. And people like him, he knows a lot more about this game than I do. And maybe someday that'll change, but I don't think that will, because this probably will be my only playthrough of this game. But I don't go on his channel and say, oh, why don't you play Ninja Gaiden 2? You've got an avatar with the Ninja Gaiden on it, and you just got to be mature and respectful on YouTube, because it's so easy to just be childish and stuff like that. But other people, Sofrek, like I mentioned before, and the gentleman to whom this guide is dedicated, Raskolnikov 1944, over in Romania. And a guy I don't think I mentioned before, his name is D. Almeida, very knowledgeable about these types of games. And I don't think he has a huge channel either, but he's got some really good content on his channel. With I think he was playing this game on Climax difficulty. So check him out. He's in the comments. So even if you can't find his channel, just search the comments and you'll find his name. It's D_Almeida, and I probably pronounced that wrong, and I apologize. But I think he's in Portugal. So we got a lot of international viewers, and I really appreciate the support. And I don't just say that, even though I say it often, but I do appreciate the support, because if I was just making videos and no one ever responded, that would be pretty lousy. Anyway, so we're back in this environment here, and what you need to do is, instead of going to the right, we're going to interact with this and use it to slow down time so we can jump through the flames. And we have a really tough battle out here, and I'm going to use my red lollipop to increase my damage output that I do. And there might come a point when I use the yellow lollipop sometimes, because I don't think I mentioned that, but when you're doing the first trial on the prologue, when you're limited by your time, the time factor, and you had to do the 3 torture effects, I think you can get away with dropping a yellow, like one of the big yellow lollipops, and then just give yourself complete immunity for any attack. Okay, sorry for having to rant there, but we have a very difficult battle ahead, and even though I kicked that one guy off the platform, I believe he comes back, but these guys are pretty problematic enemies because they have shields and they have the swords. And now that move that I did right there, that's the breakdance move that I just purchased. I'm really not going too heavy-handed with purchases except for items. So, for instance, I don't have any accessories equipped, and I also have I think I only have like 2, maybe 3 of the skills that I've purchased, because I've looked at them and some of them look kind of interesting, but the bottom line is I can't try those before I buy those the way you can the moves. So I might commit to a purchase later on, but I don't have anything definite planned right now. The really wonderful thing about this game, though, is being able to evade when you're in the air and getting juggled. I'm pretty certain that you can do that. When enemies are juggling you in the air, if you time it correctly, you can evade it and activate witch time in the process. So we slaughtered those enemies. Now we're going to do some running around here. One of my reservations about this game, though, is that I realized that, first of all, I don't know everything about the game. You know, like the way I do. You know, take Ninja Gaiden 2 for instance. You know, when I first played that, I was coming from a Ninja Gaiden Sigma experience, and I didn't know everything about it. But to unlock Master Ninja mode, you have to play several difficulties, and I am really confident that I know everything about that game. And you know, coming to this game, it's harder too, since I don't know everything. I don't know all the moves. It kind of disturbs me, and you know, thinking to myself, maybe I can't handle this guy, but maybe we can get it to work after all. Because one of the things I was worried about was, you know, not knowing all the combos, not knowing all the button presses, knowing the names of the combos. I keep thinking to myself, like, what could I impart to people except, like, you know, you got to evade a lot. So let's just take this situation for instance. We've got these beasts here, and the reason I went over to that train was because there are some cars you could throw at these guys, which I would really recommend doing. But you know, take the Ninja Gaiden 2 guide that I did, or even the Ninja Gaiden Razor's Edge guide. You know, when I first bought that on the Wii U, I just did an immediate guide because I was really confident in that game. But like, if you compare the hard difficulty series that I did to the Ultimate Ninja series with the Master Ninja guide in between, so I actually made 30 videos for that game, which doesn't deserve a third of that many, but because it's just not quality. And the thing is, I wanted to have the first videos up on YouTube, and I did, because the Wii U was a hard item to acquire back then, and you know, people were just playing it. They weren't making guides, not right away anyway. So mine was definitely the first on there. But you know, let's take a current situation. Like, we've got Batman Arkham Origins coming out on Friday, which I'm really excited for, because even though I've expressed my my dislike towards open world games, you can't beat that game's combat, and it's the overall feeling that you're really this character and you can do pretty much anything you want to. And I just love it. I love the whole Arkham series, and I want to do a guide for that game. But the thing is, when I make the guide, it's going to be, ideally I want to know as much as I can about the game. As much as I can, to the point where I feel confident that I'm actually, giving out good advice and that I'm not ignorant of a lot of things. And it's kind of the same way with this game, but it's hard because when a game comes out, everybody and their brother is going to make a guide for the game. And if you wait, your videos will probably be very, very low on the list. But it's those low videos that are really the good ones that are hard to find, of people, being really knowledgeable about the game. So I just refuse to until I play a game at least one time. But a game like this, I would have been better served to have played it twice. But I really want to play Batman, so I don't want to have this unfinished, but it might be the case. So I'll just play Batman and then just keep doing this guide. I'll just keep both systems hooked up. But anyway, so basically this guide is not going to be as technical as like my Ninja Gaiden 2 Campaign 2 guide was, where I never strayed from the topic at hand of what was happening on screen, aside from minor observations here and there. And I'm less satisfied when I do something like this when I'm not being technical. So maybe it's like a detour in my guides to have something different, but different's good sometimes. So you can't do the same thing every time. Okay, so we're coming up here. We have the Gates of Hell to shop in. And I believe I was incorrect. The X button assignation is for. It's not necessarily for the gun. I mean, you could have a setup that has a sword and the sword and the claws, or the sword and the guns. But regardless, even if you had like a sword and maybe the lightsaber, I don't know if you could do that, but you would still have the gun because she has guns on her heels anyway, as well as her arms. So I just don't know how it works exactly. But these three foes here are going to metamorphosize into a larger enemy who's pretty damn fast with his strikes. So I also don't know possibly if... Yeah, you want to avoid getting grabbed if you can, but I don't know if the hit detection is kind of bad on this guy, or if it's intentional to hit him and miss between his legs when you're hitting him. So just do the quick time event when you get in trouble. You're going to deal a little bit of damage to him when you come down. That's not very much actually. And earlier in this video, I went to I was going to go to the trial, but you need I think you need the whip to easily do that trial, and I don't have the whip, but it's attainable in this chapter. In fact, one of the pieces you need for it is in this location. But again, it's just one of those things that my ignorance about the locations of all the items prevailed. So so this guy should almost be dead. And I also thought to myself, even though I'm not saying everything, at all times about what's going on the screen. You could still, what's happening by what I'm doing on the screen anyway, So we're going to pick this item up, go through the portal, and I believe what you do to get new weapons is you reassemble the broken LPs, and then you give him to Rodin, I think that's his name, and he'll give you weapons. So that's how I got the katana originally, and I like to think of it as my own makeshift dragon sword, if you will. But this puzzle just includes pulling the lever and then taking the hourglass that you get from it over to this location where we came from. But you see over to the right, I didn't even see it when I was playing. See over there to the right, that's the part of the record that you can bring to the guy. So unfortunately I missed it, but I could come back with the chapter select, so it's not the end of the world. It's just one of those things where if this were another game, I would probably have already known that. So okay, so by the way, I cut out that cutscene, but it was just assembling the bridge with the hourglass because it restored time. Yeah, so I'm very excited for Batman and like to cover it. However, I need to really get good at it, first of all, get into the swing of things. Because the more I know about the game, the more I can just go through the game without having to edit so many things. But anyway, this part right here, I decided to use some yellow lollipops. Was it wasteful? Probably. But I had no health. Anytime you do die, though, on normal or hard, what happens is they just refill your health all the way up. So it's very unwise to use the healing items. Like right now, if I wanted to, it would just be very imprudent to use the healing items when I could just have killed myself. And then they would have just respawned me, unless unless you're going to be sent back to a checkpoint that's way too far, out of your liking. But that right there, that could have, I don't know what that was. But I believe we're almost done with this chapter. Oh, this part here. Okay, this is an optional fight. There will be some fights that I skip, but not many important ones. Like, I don't even know if there were enemies right there. I think they were just boulders. In the next chapter, though, I decided to put the claws on the right slot. So I have the katana with the claws. And it's a pretty nice setup. I don't know if it's going to be my favorite, but it's pretty good for now. But this is the conclusion of the video, so I will see you in chapter 4.